As you look at the tail of the tape, it's truly age against experience. The 20-year-old against the 38-year-old, a size advantage in weight goes to Joe Charles at 265 pounds. It's the super fight. It's Belfort's chance to return from the adversity of his loss in UFC 15 to Couture, his first ever loss since he was just 9 years old. Big John McCarthy, the third man inside the octagon. Super fight is underway.
Belfort's got fast hands. It'll be interesting to see if he wants to use them to try to soften up Joe Charles. But it was Charles who said he wants to soften up Belfort on his feet before taking him down.
And Belfort also said he may choose to grapple a bit if given the opportunity here in this super fight.
And he starts off with grappling. He went right in, double underhook into Joe Charles. Pushes him in against the fence. Look for him to use his legs to try to trip the big man down to the ground. And here, okay, Charles immediately tried to get him in the guard, but Belfort stayed to the side. He has a side mount now. He'll probably try to raise up and strike.
Belfort with great quickness.
Knee in the stomach here to try to post. Let's see if he steps across and goes to a full mount. And that's what he does.
Charles has said, I want to meet him, bring his game into my world, and bring him down. But in a full mount, trying to get back into the guard now is Charles. Vitor Belfort on the ground.
Armbar is going to try to bring his left leg up and around, and step across Joe Charles' body, and if he does that, that's a key lock as well. That's a key lock.
He's got the left arm in good spot there, Vitor Belfort. He said he might not punch. He's boxed in his other UFC appearances. He said, I've got great grappling skills. I may choose to use them here tonight in Ultimate. Now he's turned around to his back.
Charles, a great roll there, putting Vitor just for a moment on his back, but Charles has ground skill because he is in the area where Vitor trains. But here at the UFC, we have yet to see Belfort effectively grapple on the ground. And it appears that he's come out here with an attitude. He is going to show the world what he's capable of with his jiu-jitsu skills. He had a key lock on Charles. Again, he's in a position where if he brings his right leg over Charles' stomach, he could go for the armbar. Again, he passes on it. To wait and feel. Charles knows submissions. So Vitor's going to have to work hard here to go ahead and catch the bigger man.
Now, it's been stated by some before that guys like Belfort, Hickson, and Gracie are the best in the world on the ground.
He's got his back here. If Belfort can sink his hips back a little, he'll look for a rear naked choke.
Very quiet crowd again, as the custom has it here in Japan. McCarthy tells them to get moving into an offensive position on the back, and another roll by Charles.
This is the most dominant position here, is taking the opponent's back. He'll look now to get under Charles' chin. He doesn't have to, but that's where it's most effective to get the rear naked choke.
Looking for the extension here, Jeff?
That's what he's trying to do here now, is just get under the chin, get the forearm across the throat. He doesn't need it across the throat. He can cut the carotid as well. But what he needs to do now is sink it tighter, cinch it slowly tighter and tighter and tighter. And that's exactly what he's doing. He doesn't need to sprint. Incremental victories, even if it's just a little bit at a time.
Work it out.
He also would like to puff his chest out so that it again makes it tighter from the rear. It's not pulling forward on the arm. It's the pressure from the back pushing the head forward into the arm.
And how does Charles here try to counter?
Charles right now wants to try to turn into that lock to try to get his chin free. He really doesn't want to reach with his arms. It doesn't appear, though, Belfort has it sunk real tight yet. And in judo, you're allowed to choke. So Charles is familiar with chokes and is trained to defend them.
It is very quiet here inside Yokohama Arena. Belfort in the super fight here with Joe Charles, and Charles trying to regain the feet. At least he was able to avoid submission, but for how long?
Conditioning can be everything. Vitor's conditioning looks very poor in the Couture fight. And Joe Charles, being a big man, you would wonder how much energy does he have.
Now looking for the ankle lock is Joe Charles. And Belfort had the leg caught under Charles for a moment. Now the top side.
He's not striking. Vitor really is making a statement here. He could have thrown a bunch of right hand. There it is. And he's shown the world that he is capable of great submission skills. He stayed disciplined even when he had the opportunity to strike, and he ended it with a great armbar against Charles.
He made it no secret in telling us that he would like to display his grappling skills. He does it for the victory here in the super fight against Joe Charles. Vitor Belfort did not throw one punch.
He did not, and he had opportunities to do on his feet, and more important, when he had that side mount position, he was right above Charles. The hands were separated. He could have thrown punches down, and he didn't. He has made a statement saying he is a capable grappler, and he just showed us that he has good skill on the ground.
4 minutes and 13 seconds it took for Vitor Belfort to finish the match.
Looking at a replay here, Belfort setting it up now, looking for an arm, and right there when he pushed up with the arm, he quickly stepped to the side, around the head, sunk that arm bar, and immediately put the pressure onto the elbow. Charles tapped. And right here, he's just waiting. He's seeing what Charles wants to do, and you see Charles' right hand, the palm up right there. He seizes it, steps quickly across. Belfort, a very quick individual, caught Charles in the armbar.
Let's go into the octagon for the decision. Here's Bruce Buffer.
We have a winner by tap out at 4 minutes and 13 seconds. For the winner of the UFC Super Fight, Vitor Belfort!